Hello, my name is Father Lawrence Jagfeld. I'm a Franciscan of the Sacred Heart Province and the administrator of CUSA, an apostolate of persons with chronic illness and/or disability. This Sunday we read from St. Paul's second letter to the Corinthians. Brothers and sisters, that I, Paul, might not become too elated because of the abundance of the revelations, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, an angel of Satan, to beat me, to keep me from being too elated. 3 times I begged the Lord about this, that it might leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness. I will rather boast most gladly of my weaknesses, in order that the power of Christ may dwell with me. Therefore I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and constraints, for the sake of Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. This particular passage, as well as many others in the writings of St. Paul, is certainly a favorite of our apostolate of CUSA. St. Paul understood better than most that weaknesses, disabilities, thorns in the flesh, as he calls them, are not so much to be considered punishments from God, but rather approval from God. This reading comes out of a context of opposition. St. Paul was opposed by certain members of the community. First of all, he was opposed because he had been one who persecuted Christians, and it took some time for Christians to believe that he really was sincere in his conversion. But once it became obvious that he was sincere, he also met opposition because he dared to spread the message to the Gentiles and to preach that it was not necessary for them to become Jewish before they could become Christian. In order to make their point, the opposition pointed out that Paul had been punished by God. Paul received many times different punishments such as hardships, floggings, shipwrecks, and as he says in this particular reading, he was also afflicted with some sort of disability. In a later letter, it seems that that disability had something to do with his eyes. But rather than seeing God's punishment in these things, St. Paul saw God's approval. He reasoned that if Jesus, the Son of God, who was the just one, was also afflicted, was also persecuted, and was crucified and died for our sake, if Jesus could bear these things in his righteousness, then all of us who are so afflicted are also able to claim righteousness in God's eyes. By righteousness, I mean right relationship. We are in relationship with God through our weaknesses, through our disabilities, through our chronic situations. These are not punishments, but proofs of God's love and God's approval. And consequently, we Christians, we CUSANs, believe that if we unite ourselves with the crucified Savior, as St. Paul obviously united himself, we will experience the same resurrection, the same reward, the same glory that Jesus experienced. For more information about CUSA, please visit our website at www.cusan.org.